God gave us two ears, but one mouth for a reason. Okay. Prospecting is not so you can talk that person's ear off about how good this company is, how good I don't know, whatever. Oh, IUL, annuity, right? Because then they kind of think that you sound like every other salesman, and they'll say, like, no, right? Oh, I don't want that. No insurance, no investment. I don't want yet. But when you start asking the right questions, you really start to gather the data and the information that you need from the client so that you can actually help them. And also, if you're brand new, if I'm your trainer, you need to gather information for me as well, right? What's client's age? Are they single or married? Where do they work? Is it full-time, part-time, sometime? What's their goals? What kind of experience do they have with financial companies? What kind of experience do they have investing their money? I'm never going to know this until you ask. Does that make sense? So, number one, please ask more questions and let the client talk. Because when you do some active listening, you'll hear that ding, ding, ding. Oh, I should talk about this. But you got to ask that question first and gather the information. Then you can go for the kill. That's how I explain it. Okay. Number two is excitement will win every single time. Okay. I don't know how many people have asked me, Simon, what is your script? It doesn't exist. There is no script because every single conversation is different from the other. I will not talk to Stacy the same way I talk to my dad. So what is the point of a script? It does nothing. And it makes it seem like memorizing something is actually what matters. You know what matters? It's your body language. Do you smile, right? If I smile at you and you smile back, I'll be happy, right? But if I'm your client and you look just so miserable, people do business with the people they like, if I'm being honest. You gotta be liked, right? So tone matters, eye contact, stuff like that matters. But the biggest thing for me is be loud, be excited. Ate Lizelle is loud. I'll be honest, she's very loud. That's a great thing. Be loud, seriously. You gotta be loud and proud if you really want this to work. And again, it's not even something you don't have to say the right thing. Just be happy and be loud because people will naturally gravitate towards that. And then, of course, you got to back it up by your skill and saying the right thing by articulating, okay? Now, number three, by the way, this helps on both sides, but I'll give you an example for the product side. Please don't offer any solutions. Don't go up to somebody and offer a product because that's how you come off salesy. Mm-hmm. I'll give you an example. If I say, hey, Ate Lizelle, right? Do you want a life insurance? You're gonna say no. 999 times out of 1,000, you'll say no. You may close one, but you'll say no, right? So what do? Is I want to first articulate a problem and then solve that problem. Or even better, can you let her articulate the problem and you solve that problem? Okay, I'll give you an example. So I'll say, Ate Lizelle, right? Rylan is how old? 8, 9, 7? I don't know.
8 years old.
Okay, great. So he's 8 years old, right? And I could say something like, hey, Ate, a lot of people right now, they're having trouble setting their child up for their future. A lot of people have trouble with that. So Ate, have you thought about a college fund for Rylan? If she says no, I'll say, great. Then at least I could talk about that. My trainer is expert. If they say yes, I'll say, great. What have you looked at? Oh, I looked at 529 plan. Oh, I looked at, again, I'm just getting more information. Does that make sense? So when I really do go prospecting, I'm not saying anything crazy other than asking simple questions, right? Hey, do you save money? Hey, do you invest? Oh, what kind of investments do you do, right? Oh, what do you care about? What are you looking for? So that's what I'm saying. There really is no script, but I will say is I will never offer the solution until I hear a problem first. Because then you're a teacher that can help them versus a salesman trying to push something down their throat. Okay? Now, I really like this one because it helped me out a lot. Whenever a prospect asks you a question, you answer it, and then you better ask one back. Very simple example. I say, oh, Ate, here's this, here's that. And she says, Simon, right? I don't want life insurance. Are you talking about life insurance? And I'll say, why? Do you need it? And she'll say, yes. And I say, great, I have it. And she'll say, no. And I'll say, no, I don't do that. Right? By the way, this is directly from Coach. I know you guys have heard them do that, right? Another said, wait, you could say, it doesn't matter what question they have. You have to answer it correctly, but then you have to ask one back to continue the conversation. Okay? I'll give you an example. If we're in a appointment or something, and Ricky says, so what do you do? And I say, I teach people, I do insurance and investments. And you just sit there. And then he says, okay, what are you teaching? I teach people about saving for their future. And what's he going to do? He's going to say, okay, cool, thanks, bye, right? But the other thing I realized is that the person asking the questions is in control of the conversation. Always. I've seen time and time again. Because a lot of my new guys, they're going to get kind of stuck in that loop of people saying, what business is this? Is that MLM? Is that a pyramid? Right? Same thing with sales, right? What happens if the company goes down? What happens if I can't get right? Answer the question and then always ask one back. Regain a little bit of control back of that conversation, okay? Now, fifth one, also this is one of my do or dies. Do not leave any conversation until the next follow-up is scheduled. I don't care what follow-up it is, but you got to have the next follow-up scheduled, okay? If they say, hey, are you interested in this? Oh, yes, I'm interested. Wonderful. I'm still brand new here, but my Ate Lizelle is one of our master trainers. She's one of my advisors. You got to meet her. She's super busy, but I will beg her to make time for you because she loves me so much. I need to know, when are you free? Weekday or weekend? Weekend? Great. Saturday or Sunday? Saturday, great. Morning or afternoon? Afternoon, great. 3 or 4? 4, great. Boom, close. I text Ate, hey, Ate, I need you for Saturday, whatever, right? Other option is someone says, hey, do you want to learn about this, and this? And client says, I'm not sure yet. You kind of you feel a little bit of resistance, right? So maybe I would suggest something like, why don't you join one of our workshops? You can go to the investing workshop or you can go to the cash flow workshop. When are you free to go watch that? And again, before I let them go, I will agree with them. Okay, great. You're going to go to the Friday workshop at 5:00. It'll end at 6. I will give you a call at 6:30. And then I'll let them go. Same thing if someone says no. Hey, client, hey, Simon, I really, really get this, but it's just not for me, right? So, hey, no problem, man. But now that you've seen what we do here and how I want to teach people, I'm trying to help 30 more families this month of December. Who are some people that you know that need something like this? And then I'll get the referral right there. If they can't think of anybody, I'll set up a follow-up to get that referral. Hey, you know what? No problem. I know you're busy right now. I'll give you a call tomorrow, maybe like 5:00. Is that all right? Something like that. So once I started kind of following these steps, it got really, really simple and easy for me. Does that make sense? So again, prospecting is not really about what you say. It's about asking the right questions, and it's about being excited so that you kind of pique the person's interest. You have to pique their interest. Because again, if you don't care, I'm not going to give it to you, right? But for the people that care about this, you can tell when you ask the right questions. Oh yeah, Simon, I want to invest for my kids. I want to retire my wife. I want to retire my husband. I want to build something for my kids. Like, you have to figure that out before you sit down with them in the appointment. That's what the asking questions is about. Does that make sense? Okay. Good. So before I move on to you know what? We'll do questions at the end. Actually, that'll be easier. So, okay, this is for prospect, okay? Now I'm going to kind of go into when I have someone sat down. When I actually have someone sat down, first one will be brand new person, because that's the one most of us are going to, that's the one most of us are going to have anyways. So this is for brand new person. it doesn't matter if you're a trainer or not, but me as a trainer, I need to go into that appointment knowing that I'm going to close the deal. You have to have a results-minded attitude. And when I want to, let's say, for example, let's say I want to sell an FFIUL. There are three main questions that I need you and I to agree upon for this deal to work. Okay? Number one is very, very simple. Do you even want to save money? It's not that hard of a question, but you'll be surprised how many people don't give a crap about it. I'll be honest. Some people are just way too comfortable, and some people just really don't want to learn. I cannot help them yet. Okay? Number two is, how much money do I want to save? Number three is simple, which is where. That's your actual product. And what I've learned over the last couple of years, and watching Dad too, is that number one and two have a very, very big gap. That's where a lot of the problems may arise. Because if I'm talking about product and you don't even want to save money, then what are we doing here? You clearly don't want it. I'm not going to force it, right? But if you can agree, if you can have the prospect agree that, yes, I want to save money, and yes, we're going to come up with a number to figure that out, then this should be so simple and easy. Because they are giving you enough data to really, really let you into their life. I'll explain what I'm really talking about, okay? But you will see when I run through this presentation that I am really spending a lot more time on number one and number two. A lot more time, okay? Good. So, client is sitting in front of me, right? And we're going to, I'm talking, hey, I want to help you build your foundation. I want to help you plan for your future, all that kind of stuff, okay? When I'm ready to, I know you guys have seen this time and time again, but this is my favorite slide of all time. I will do it every single appointment, and I mean it, okay? I'm going to do it quickly for the sake of time, but this is really to set this is to set your mindset. I can tell right away, the moment I do this slide, if this deal will happen or not, just by the way you think. Goal here is, I want to teach, actually, I'm curious. Who has not seen this? I'm really, really curious. Can you guys just raise your hand or something? I want to see. Who's not? Okay, I know. Lizelle, who's next to you?
My new explosion, Jessica.
Oh, Jessica. Okay, great. So Jessica, I know a lot of people have seen this. Okay. Jessica, I'm gonna use you for my example, okay? So Jessica, I want to show you 4 ways that you can become a millionaire by age 65.
Okay.
That's it. Okay? Now, Jessica, right now, by the way, what do you do for work, Jessica?
Food attendant cashier.
You said what?
Food attendant / cashier.
Oh, cashier. Okay, great. Cashier. So you're doing cashier. Now, Jessica, can you just save $200 a month right now?
Yeah.
It's not crazy, right? That's about $6.50 a day. It's not crazy. Now, let's save that money every single month and let's invest it. It doesn't matter where. We're not talking about product. I just want to teach you the concept, okay? But you save the money, and let's say we get about 10% average return every single year, okay? Now, Jessica, here's number one. Let's say you were exactly my age. I just turned 27, but let's say 26 years old. And I say, okay, Jessica, you need to save $200 a month.
Okay.
Can you just save $200 a month or $2,400 a year all the way till you retire age 65? Okay, how much did you put in, Jessica? You put in $96,000.
Wow.
Right? Now, 10% return over 65 years becomes $1 million. That's pretty good if you ask me. That's not bad.
Right.
Number 2. Jessica, you have any kids?
Yes, 2.
How old?
16 and 6.
Oh, perfect. What's 16-year-old's name?
Janica.
Janica. Okay, great. So also Jane. Okay. So Janica is sitting right there next to you, let's say. Okay? I'll say, hey, Mom, this is what you're going to do for her right now. Now, she's only 16, but let's say she was 18.
Okay.
Maybe Mom can help her out a little bit, or maybe she has part-time job at McDonald's, whatever. But can you save $200 a month at 18? Now, if you remember example 1, how long did I save? Number 1 is 40 years. Number 2, Janica saves 8 years. And you can stop. No more. Just live your life. Live your life. And then no more savings here. Now, when Janica turns 65, how much did you guys save? It was 19,200. But 10% return becomes what? Becomes 1.2.
Oh, that's
So,
awesome.
so right off the bat, Janica, I'm asking, not Janica, but Jessica, I'm asking you a question, right? Why is it that Janica put 70,000 less than me? But why does she get 200K more? Why do you think?
Because of the interest of every year.
Interest is the same.
Not interest, the years does, the span of the time.
Yes, yes. She started earlier. That's it.
Yes.
That's the answer, right? That's how money works. You can always get more money, but you can never get more time. Okay?
Right.
Good. Now, Jessica, now I'm going to blow your mind. Okay? Here's number 3. What about 6-year-old? What's his name or her name?
Ayana.
Ayana. Great. Is that with the I?
Yes.
Or A? Okay, Ayana. Okay. I know Ayana is a 6, but let's say she's born today.
Okay.
Okay? So Ayana's born today, and I'm going to come to you saying, hey, Mom, you should start saving for her right now.
Okay.
$200 a month. For how long? Just until Ayana's 2nd birthday stop. No more. Just let her live her life. So you save her first 2 years. When Ayana becomes 65, how much did you save? It was less than 5,000.
Okay.
10% return over 65 years. What does it become? It becomes $2 million.
Holy smoke.
Here's number 4. Here's number 4. Same thing. Mom and dad have to understand this concept. But let's say you started saving for Ayana the day she was born. But you said, you know what, Simon? I want to do it consistently. So you save for her $200 a month. And let's say right around here. Maybe she gets 20-year-old. She just finished school. Maybe she's making money. And you sit her down and you say, hey, sweetie, I started this for you as loving mom and dad. Now it's your turn to keep it up.
Okay.
So you keep it up. So she keeps it up. So she says, oh my God, thank you. I'm going to keep doing $200 a month, all 65 years. Total saved by you and your family is $156,000. Okay. Jessica, throw me a guess. What do you think final number will be?
Million?
How much?
4? No. That's under 65.
4?
No. Under 65. 10 million.
10? Actually, very, very close. Answer is about $12 million.
That's awesome.
So, I'll make this even simpler for you because Ayana is actually 6 years old.
Right.
Let's say you started literally tonight. Listen, I'll help you out. This is age 6, age 5, age 4, age 3, age 2, right here. If you started right now, Ayana will have an estimated $8 million when she retires age 65.
Wow.
If the market can give you 10%. I don't know where it can go, but if it can do that, it'll be estimated $8 million. Right now.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Does that one will be affected as the economy recession or fluctuate or whatever?
Economy is always affected, but here's the thing. I'm not telling you to touch the money tomorrow, right?
Right.
You're not saving for 1 year. You're not saving for 2 or 10. This is 60 years, 60 plus years. And the thing I do know is that over the long term, market always looks like this.
Right.
It always goes up. So yes, I don't know where it's going to go, and I don't try to know. By the way, I used to work at a hedge fund. That was my job to know. I don't like doing that anymore.
Okay.
But don't even worry about that, because what I do know is that in 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years, you will win.
Right.
As long as you set that discipline and you go for the long term. Okay?
That's awesome.
Good. So,
thank you.
Of course. So, Jessica, very simple. So now I'm going to start to really close, if you ask what I mean. So, Jessica, right? $200, is that life-changing money, yes or no?
Yes.
So, $200 is not really. $200 a month, is that life-changing money, yes or no?
Yes.
200 is not life-changing, right? But 12 million is a life-changing money, yes? Okay, great. Now, only problem is is that I was very, very lucky because my dad knew this concept and he started this for me, right? But Jessica, why didn't your mom teach you this concept? Your mom.
They didn't have a knowledge.
They didn't know. They didn't know, right? I promise you, they did not go to your mother's village in Philippines to teach her about it.
Yep.
They didn't go to my grandma's village in Korea to teach them about this. That's why we are here. And that's why you need to start, okay? Because and this is my close, best day to start would have been day you're born. Next best day to start is now. Don't lose any more time. You got to start now, okay? So now I'm going to kind of go into what I'm trying to do with the prospect, okay? I don't know if you guys have seen this, but it's the 50-30-20 rule. Very, very easy rule. Again, I'm still working on question 1, which is, do you want to even save money? Okay? So let's say, who else can I call on? Okay? Let me see. Where's Atefe? Can you hear me? Atefe?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Right? So I'll say something very simple. Hey, Atefe, have you ever heard of the 50-30-20 rule?
No.
Okay, a very simple rule. All it means is whatever money is coming in every single month, maximum 50% should be on your needs. Your food, your house, things you need. Maximum 30% of that should be on your wants. And then minimum 20% should be your savings and investments. Okay? Very, very simple. Makes sense so far? Good. Okay. So then I'm going to ask them directly, right? Hey, Atefe, how much are you making this year? So let's just, again, I'm just using a simple example. So let's just say she says 100K. For this example, for budgeting, I like to use net income. So let's say if it's like 100,000, she'll make like 8,500 gross or maybe 6,000 net. Does that make sense? I like to use net when I'm talking about budgeting because that's the money that's actually coming into the person's account, okay? And then I'll do it for them. Hey, Ate, because of 6,000, that means maximum 50% should be on your needs, which is 3K. Maximum 30% on your wants, which is 1.8K. And then minimum 20% should be for your savings and investments, which is a 1.2K minimum. And then I want you to gut check them, right? Where's Ventura? Unmute.
Morning.
All right, hey, buddy. Right? So let's just say you were making 100K, right? And then I do this, maximum 3K, maximum 1.8K, and then minimum 1.2K. So Ventura, how much are you actually saving every single month?
Like half of $600.
Let's say $600. Okay, gotcha. Now, depending on who is in front of me, I'm going to say this a little bit differently. But if it was Ventura in front of me, I would say, stop spending your money on stupid stuff. Just straight up, I will say that. Okay? Now, if it's someone a little bit older than me, I'm going to be a little bit nicer. And I'm going to say, hey, Ate, right? I recommend that you should save minimum about $1,200. So maybe we can cut some stuff, but $600 is not too bad. Okay? But I just want to get to a number, let's say. Okay? Now, just for example, let's say I got to let's say out of the 1,200, the real number was about 1,000. So client told me, oh, okay, I save about $1,000. Okay, great. Then I'm going to do foundation. Point of this is that I want to set your goal for you. I want to set your goal. Now for foundation, I use gross income because that's your goal. Okay, so 100,000, I'll actually use 100,000. So I'm asking, hey, Ate, how's your protection? How's your whatever? Let's just say this is all zero, just for the sake of it. And I'm going to say your goal right now, Ventura, I'm going to say your goal. Minimum 10 times we recommend for your life insurance. I know mom relies on you. Your sister relies on you. So this is about $1 million. Okay, you don't have any debt, so that's good. Just stay out of debt. Emergency fund, I recommend about 6 to 12 months income. So this is about 50 to 100K. And for your long-term retirement investment, we recommend about 20 times, which is $2 million. Okay. Now, I'm going to ask another question. Again, you'll see I ask a very specific question after every single one of these slides, right? Hey, Ventura, seeing that right now your current situation is all zeros, and I just set the goal in front of you. Does it look far? Or does it seem pretty close?
That looks very far.
It looks a little far, right? So that's something we got to work on. Okay. Now, Ventura, you tell me, which one of these do you think we should work on?
Well, you said the ground up, so I think protection first.
Okay. What
Probably.
else? What else?
I don't have debt.
Yeah,
And
so
I probably
off debt, so just stay out of debt. Yeah.
Mhm. Maybe emergency fund after.
Definitely this.
Okay.
Right. So if you guys, I'll stop here. Right. I'm making him agree with me that these are things we need to work on, and I'm making him articulate it to me because when he says it, he will believe it. That's why I'm not saying you need to work on this. I'm saying, Ventura, tell me which are the ones we need to work on. That's how I, structure it. Okay. So next, I will usually do a PFS. Okay. Now, I just again pretend this is all done. Blah 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 blah. Okay. My only main goal is that this cash flow number should match the number he just gave me. Then I can move forward. Okay. If the cash flow number is higher or the same, then that means he's actually saving more money than he thinks he is. But let's say he gave me the number that was about 1,000 and only about 600 is left. I'm going to tell you, hey, bro, you're spending your money on dumb stuff. So I will again go back to this guy and I will kind of work with him for this area. Okay. But let's just say in a perfect world, Ventura tells me, hey, Simon, I save about $1,000 a month. And let's say the numbers also confirm it, that he saves roughly about $1,000 a month. Okay. This will be my final close, which is Ventura. Now that we've kind of agreed that 1,000 is kind of where you're looking at, can you really save that $1,000 for your future right now? Answer it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can.
Okay, good. Now let's pretend you said no, right?
Okay.
Hey, Ventura, can you actually save this 1,000?
No, I can't.
Okay, that's okay. It doesn't have to be everything. But out of this 1,000, how much can you tell yourself that I'm going to put this away for my future?
I think I can still do 800.
Great.
Not
That is the number. Right there. So in the last, 20 minutes or so, I got Ventura to agree that we do want to save money. And how much? It's 800. And now you can create your plan, right? So you have to know your products. You have to do all of that, right? So I'll create a plan for Ventura. Again, let's just say it was 1,000, right? So let's say we have $1,000 to work with. Again, this is kind of different with every, client because you have to look at foundation and all that kind of stuff. But just for example, right? So let's say out of 1,000, right? Ventura, are you more aggressive or more conservative with your money?
Kind of conservative.
Kind of conservative. Okay.
Yeah.
So here's a simple plan. Again, I'm just thinking of it right now. Here's a simple plan that we can maybe help you. Okay. Because we do need to work on protection, emergency fund, and investment. Okay. So maybe for the conservative side, maybe something like a high yield savings. Okay. By the way, if you guys are securities licensed, we have a really good high yield savings from a company called Betterment. I didn't spell that right, whatever. And it's 4.25% guaranteed interest. So I know if you use Bank of America, this will be much, much better than that stupid bank account. Okay. So again, you're gonna have to work this out with the client, but let's just say about $400 a month goes into here. And we have 600 left over. Hey, Ventura, I recommend we do something kind of in the middle where it can still grow very, very easily, but also still pretty safe in case market ever goes down. Okay. So let's say right there, 400, 600. Okay. Again, you guys can allocate it however you like. You could go 200, 600, 200. You could go 333. It doesn't really matter. It just depends on what client likes. Okay. But all I know is that I have $1,000 to work with. That's all I know. So I'm going to work with. I just threw my pen. Hold on. So I know I have $1,000 to work with. Okay. So let me go here. Okay, so Ventura, here's what I recommend. Actually, I'll switch. You're done. Good job. Okay, so let's go to Stacy because I see you, Stacy. Okay. So, Stace, for the $600 that we're freeing up, right? I recommend a plan where you can put your money. Okay, it'll grow for you, but still pretty safe in case market ever goes down. Okay. Have you ever heard of the company Transamerica?
Yes.
Great. Okay, good. They're in San Francisco. The guy who founded Bank of America founded Transamerica. It used to be called Bank of Italy, became Bank of America, and now it's called Transamerica. But they have this product called the FFIUL. I'll explain it very, very briefly, and then you do 4 boxes. Okay? I know most of you guys are out of California, so I'm going to do FFIUL too. Okay? Stace, I want you to put that $600 in a place that can grow for you. Okay? Now, I want money to grow. I want money to be safe. I would love some tax advantages, and I would love some protection. Okay? Now, let's just give me an example of, let's say, stocks. Can stocks grow? Stace?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Are they safe? No. Do you get any tax advantages with stocks?
No, right?
No. Any protection? No.
No.
Right? Let's say bank account. Do you get growth? Not really, right? You do get safety as long as the bank doesn't go down. You don't get no tax advantages. You don't get any protection. The closest thing I can think of, Stace, is maybe real estate. Can it grow? Yeah, it can grow. Is it safe? I would say so-so. Because even if the value goes down, you still can live in the house, right? So pretty safe. You do get some tax advantages, but no protection. So, safe. With this plan, which is called FFIUL from Transamerica, you put the $600 a month, and can your money grow? Absolutely. It's tied to the index. I didn't spell that right. Sorry. It's tied to the index, and the account can grow uncapped. So whatever the market gives you, that's what your account gets. Average 20 years has been 10.4%. It's outstanding. Okay. Now, Stace, what about for people that care about the market going down? Are you ever worried about market crashing or anything like that?
Yes.
Sure, right. Most people are. In case market ever goes down, company gives you guaranteed floor 0.75% return. Now, how do you get tax advantages? Right? Now, you can access this money through tax-free withdrawal or even using a loan. Stace, for like mortgages, right? You buy a house. Do you have to pay tax on the loan that you get from the bank?
Yes.
On a loan from the bank?
No.
Not on the loan, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing here. So I want you to build up your wealth. I want it to grow. But when you want to take it out, it's all tax-free. Why? Because this plan is not considered a security. Okay, you can't do that with securities. This plan is actually considered life insurance. Okay, so this is how I've been kind of selling this with my market, is because kids my age who don't have children, who don't have wives, they don't want life insurance, right? But that's not how I market it. The real point of this, the reason I have many of these products, is not because of the life insurance. It's because it offers you a tax-free wealth building tool that does not go down, but only goes up. Does that make sense? Right? That's how I've been talking about this plan. So depending on what, obviously there's a time frame for everything, but usually I could stop here, or I'll set up a second appointment, and then now it's time to show the illustration, right? I know you guys know how to show this kind of stuff, so I'm not really going to worry about this too much, or your trainer will know, right? But like I said, let's say $600, which is what me and client agreed upon, 35-year-old male, and I just say, hey, just save $600 until you retire age 65. Okay? And then show some of the numbers here and there, right? But if you see here at age 65, you put in $216,000, cash value would be worth about $475. Death benefit will be worth about $974. It's a $500,000 policy. Okay, with long-term care. And kind of, I'll obviously run through the numbers, answer any questions, right? And when I'm really, really ready to close the deal, I'll do 4 boxes again with the real numbers. So 35-year-old male, $600 monthly premium. I highlighted it, but how much do you put in, Mr. Klein? Is $216,000. At age 65, oh, by the way, this is a 7% estimated growth. Actual product did over 10. So these numbers may be a little bit low. But at 65, estimated is about $475,000. At age 80, it's about 1.1. If market ever goes down, you still get that guaranteed minimum. And as you build your account value, you can actually access the money with the withdrawal or the loan. If you do it in the first 10 years, it's a 0.75% net effective interest rate. If you do it after 10, it's effectively zero. I don't want to tell them it's actually zero because there's still a charge, right? 2% charge, 2% credit, but I'll tell them it's net effective rate of zero. And no matter what happens, you still get a minimum $500,000 to $1 million. Minimum $500,000 coverage with long-term care. And then I'm going to ask, do you have any questions? I'll answer any of your questions, okay? I'll be honest, most people have the same 5 or 10 questions, okay? But whenever the questions are answered, whenever I'm ready to actually close this, I'm going to say something very, very simple, like, hey, Stacy, so here's what we're going to do. I can't give you this plan even if I wanted to, because like life insurance, you have to be approved by the company, okay? So what we're going to do is I just want to send in the application, okay? They're going to go through their underwriting, and then they will give you their final decision, and you will give me your final decision, and then it will become final, okay? But let's just take the next 10 minutes and let's just submit the app. Sound fair? That's it. That's all I really do. I don't really do too much. Yeah, that's basically it. Now, I actually forgot 2 things. So that's kind of my sale pitch, whatever you want to call it. But I know a lot of people here have trouble setting up the appointment. Okay, a lot of people have trouble setting up that appointment. I know any of the trainers. I know Lizelle's got it. I know Ricky, and even Edwina, and you guys can all do perfectly fine. But you need to bring your trainers many, many appointments. That's where most of our teammates fail, is getting the appointment. Okay, so I want to give you guys 2 less than 1 minute. I call it napkin presentation. Okay, this you can remember tonight, and you can do it tomorrow as many times as you want. I've done it at church, at a restaurant, movie theater, bar, soccer game, baseball. It doesn't matter. All you need is napkin and a pen. Okay? Now, did I do the first one? Did I do the 3 things? Now, number 1 is this, okay? Who's one of my, let's go back to Jessica because I know she's new, okay? All you got to do is you draw 3 papers, okay? And then I'll ask, hey, Jessica, you have $1,000 right now. Where's the first place you'd put it? Where would you put it? That extra $1,000.
In the bank.
In the bank, right? Most people will say the bank because it is relatively safe. It is very, very convenient, okay? And it's also very easy to do because you have the app on your phone. You can go to the ATM on every corner, okay? Now, if you ask me, where would I put $1,000? I would probably invest it somewhere because I want some growth. I want some return. But it can be a little risky because what goes up also comes down. Now, 3rd question for you, Jessica, is where do rich and wealthy people put their money? Right? Now, at a certain point, it's not about growing. It's about keeping what you have. Biggest expense that we all have is taxes. So very, very wealthy people, they love investing inside of insurance companies. Why? Because of tax benefits. Okay? So, right? Ate Jessica, right? I can show you a plan that's safe just like a bank because it never goes down. Except it's still tied to the stock market. It can go up every single year. And everything you put into it, you can access tax-free, all in one package product. Does that sound cool? Great. I'm still very new here. but I know my mentor, my advisor, whatever you want to say, she is an expert in this.
Cool.
I need you to meet with her because this is going to help you and your family. Okay? And again, I'll set up the time. So this is my 1 minute. You can do this anywhere, anytime. I've done this one many, many times. And all you're going to do is in a very short amount of time, express the value of this product and set the appointment right then and there. That's it. Here's number 2. By the way, you can use either of these two. Okay? Now, this one is generally I like to use for a younger person. Generally, I like to use this for younger person. This next one, I like to use generally for older. Also, if I know you have a family, if I know you have children, something like that, I'll use this second one, okay? And I'll say, hey, out to Jessica. Okay, so that's done, right? New person, right? New person.
Okay.
Out to Jessica, I want to show you something, okay? There's 3 main problems that we have in our life. Number 1 is, what if we die too soon? Right? You can't really control that, right? Neither can I. I wish I could bring your life back. But Ate Jessica, what's the solution if you die too soon?
Nothing.
Right? At least we can get you some life insurance.
Life insurance.
At least protect the family. Does that make sense? Right? Now, number 2 is, I think, even bigger problem. What if you live too long? You're so old that you wish you were dead. What do you need there? You need the money. Very, very simple. And over time, a lot of people use different ways of their retirement. Number 1 was a pension, right? But they don't really exist anymore, maybe unless you're like FBI or government, something like that. Number 2, most people use their 401k, 403b for their retirement. Or number 3, you can do your own savings, which is what I really, really prefer. And if you go with your own savings, there's really 2 routes you can go. You can go conservative or aggressive. Now, let's say we have $100. You can go conservative, which is, let's say, guaranteed 1% interest rate. If I have $100, in 1 year, it'll be 101. Next year, it'll be 102 plus some change. Next year, it'll be 103 plus some change. Very, very simple. What about if I do maybe aggressive, maybe some stocks, mutual fund, ETF, crypto, I don't really care. And let's say in those 3 years, this is the return that I get. Plus 20, minus 20, plus 10. $100 to 20% is 120. Next year, I lose 20%. I lose 24. It becomes 96. In year 3, I get plus 10%, which is plus 9.6. Call this 105 plus some change. So if you see here, aggressive did do better than conservative, which is usually what happens in life, right? But you had to go through a little bit up and down. Third strategy called index, with, let's say, minimum 1% guaranteed, and let's just say up to a cap of 13%. In year 1, it was plus 20. You didn't get 20 because the cap is 13, so I got 1/13. In year 2, it was minus 20. You didn't get minus 20 because there's a floor of 1%, so I got maybe 114 plus some change. In year 3, I got plus 10. You got plus 10, which is plus 11. Call it 125 plus some change. So, Ate Jessica, which one did best? It was the middle one. Middle one, okay? Now, third problem here is, what if you live long but not healthy? It's a big, big problem nowadays, right? What do you need? You need a long-term care, okay? So, Ate, I want to show you place that you can get number 1, number 2, and number 3 all in one package product. Would that sound cool? Right? Of course, they're going to say yes, and then set up the time yet again and let trainer go close. Okay? Good. I know. Ate, how are we doing on time? Do you guys, can I go a little bit past 8?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah? Okay. Just because I have one more thing, but I didn't know if I want to do it. Okay, cool. So, you have 2 separate napkin presentations that can be done in I know the first one is very quick, less than 1 minute. This one you can do less than 2 minutes. And you can set an appointment right then and there for a trainer to come and close. Okay, good. So I know we talked about new client, which was not this one, which was this one, right? This was the new client. Okay. You got to answer some questions. I know there's going to be some objections here and there, but generally, if the trainers teach you well, I know you'll be fine. You're not really going to worry about it. But there's one more thing I want to show you, which is what about if you run into somebody that already is a client? Okay. You can do what's called a 1035 exchange, which means you can roll over old life insurance into new life insurance, or old annuity into new annuity. And there's no tax implications for the prospect. Okay? So I've done this several times, but someone who, because again, you know, when in my first year, I would go up to somebody and say, oh, I bet, like, do you have life insurance? Oh, they'll say, oh yeah, I have a New York Life. And then you know what I'll say? I'll say, okay, good job, bye-bye. And then I never really realized this was possible. But now you can actually say, okay, Ate, let me see this statement, right? Maybe it's good. Maybe there's something better out for you. Okay, so I want to show you for this example. Okay, we have 53-year-old, 54-year-old guy. This is obviously one of our Transamerica products to make it easier. So he has 300,000 life insurance. He's from state of Texas. So this is FIUL 2, or not this product. This is a VUL. He has a VUL plan. Okay. 300,000 life insurance, and he's built up a good cash value is $134,000. He saves about 220 into this every single month. Okay, so I remember I talked to him, and I said, "Hey, Mr. Client, you've been a client with us for quite a long time. I think this would be a good time to actually upgrade and update this plan." Okay. Now, main thing is that a couple things, right? With the VUL plan, this $134,000 is invested into these 3 mutual funds. When your market is good, you go up unlimited. When market is not good, you can also go down unlimited. Okay. And I usually talk about his age, which is I say, hey, Mr. Client, you're not 33 years old anymore. Right? You're about 54. So now that you've done the hard work of building up this cash, can we please focus on protecting it a little bit? Right? So that's why I'll say a lot of our clients have been choosing to roll this over into IUL plan, right? Guaranteed floor, 0.75. Cap is none. Okay? That's number one. Number two, Mr. Client. Trust me, you guys should look out for this with other companies too. Did you guys know that this expires when he turns age 99? If you check an old New York Life or something like that, you got to check the maturity date. This is meant to cover for their whole life, but this will expire at 99. I know 30 years ago, everyone died by age 99, but now company realized that they should increase it, so it's age 121. Oops, age 121. Okay. Now, number 3. You're right here. Number 3 is very, very simple. This 300,000, you have to pass away if you want the family to get the money, just like any other life insurance. Okay, but then I'll throw it back to the same question, which is, but Mr. Client, what happens if you live long life but not healthy? Pretend you're 85 years old. You just had a knee surgery. They kick you out of the hospital in 1 or 2 days. Can you really cook for yourself? Can you really clean? Can you go to the bathroom, right? So that's why we have a long-term care. Okay? So if you remember, this guy has 300,000 and he's putting in $220 a month. So I wrote this illustration. Here's what I want to do, Mr. Klein. Number 1, we can actually raise the life insurance from 300 to 400 life or long-term care. All I want to do is let's roll over that $130,000 and you do not pay a dime until you die. And you will see here that the product will still continue to grow. you'll see here that life insurance and long-term care will continue to grow. You don't have to put any more money, but thank God you built up that seed money. You don't have to put any more. Okay. Now, problem with VULs is that even if you have 100,000 or 200,000, if market crashes, we might have to call you saying you got to put more money in. But with this plan, because of guaranteed floor, you cannot drop any more below. Okay. And then I'll use basically my close, which is right. But here's the thing, Mr. Client, how is your health right now? Usually these clients are a little bit older, so it kind of matters, because they're not 25, 35 years old. So, Mr. Client, how's your health right now? Oh, it's okay. It's good. Perfect. Okay. Now, what I want to do is I want company to tell you their answer because it's their final decision. Okay. 3 main answers that they can come back, which is yes, life insurance, yes, long-term care. Great. Let's take the offer. Number 2 is yes, life insurance, no long-term care. Then maybe we should talk about it. And number 3 is no, then just keep the same plan as it is going. But there is nothing hurting you for trying to get the better plan, but company will have final answer and then you will give me the final answer also. And I'll be honest, for these kind of clients that are already clients, they don't have to be our clients, but they're already have a life insurance plan. This should be like a 95% close rate. Because what I'm offering you, Mr. Client, what I'm offering them is more coverage, doesn't go down, and they don't put any more money in. So every single rollover or 1035, it'll be for same money or even less premium. Because I want them to pay, I don't want them to pay more than they already do, right? So yes, please keep your eyes open because there are a lot of families that I used to meet that were like, I have this plan, and I just think, great, good for you. And I stopped there. But hey, can I see your statement? Maybe I can check it out. If it's good, that's great. I don't mind. But you can start to really close a lot of more deals. And also because these accounts have a lot of seed money, they don't have to put as much premium, so easier for them as well. Okay, just be careful of the fees sometimes because they are older, so maybe cost of insurance might be an issue. So just make sure it's a good balance between what you pay versus what you're getting out of it. Does that make sense? So that's basically it. I threw a lot at you guys right now. I'm gonna stop here and let me stop sharing. I'll throw it back to you. Or anyone have any questions or anything like that? By the way,
What an awesome training for us, Simon. I know you gave your 110%, your excitement, but I love the last part. I've been in the business for 10 years, so it's my time to do my policy review.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, so we will open the floor for a question for Simon.
Perfect.
So please raise your hand if you have any questions. And please do so. Please ask questions because this is just one-time offer. Simon is very busy, so please ask questions. Wow. Looks like and sounds like we are overwhelmed, Simon. How to be like you, Simon.
I think everybody got it then.
Yeah, you have to be. By the way, Simon has been in the business for his whole life. He's been in the business for 27 years. So what he is sharing to us is a 27 years of experience. I don't know if you guys know what I mean, but Simon is the son of our WLB leader, John Woo. So basically, he's been in this business forever. So Simon, I have a question. Is that how Mr. John Woo do the presentation too?
Yeah, basically, yeah. The funny thing is, people ask me, what do I say to get them to say yes? The answer is you don't say anything. Just ask for it's crazy how my dad, when he's, he does the presentation and then he says, oh yeah, here's the product, blah, blah, blah. Do you have any questions? And they say, oh, no question. They say, great, I need your driver's license. What? And then he just writes it. Oh, what's your income? Oh, what's your address? And then he'll just write it. Because funny thing is that client will stop you if they don't want to continue. Client will stop you. But what he just did is he just took out the necessity to even ask because he knows it's good for you. So the reason why we've been closing very, very well, and again, my dad still closes a lot of deals for me too, because anyone over 50, I don't even try to close. It doesn't matter how good I am. There's no way a Korean adult or Asian adult will listen to 27-year-old kid. I know that. It's not worth my time. It's not worth the effort. So I let dad close that. But that's why 100% use your trainers. If I was in Vegas, I would use Lizelle and Ricky all the time. And also you can match them up with your culture and how they work too. But yeah, that is basically how he presents it. Yeah.
That is so true. You know, your presentation, John Woo's presentation is nothing different from our presentation. But the big difference is the conviction and the confidence level.
100%.
And we get that from the practice, from constant presentation every day.
Correct. Yeah. And then I also use my own foundation too as the backup, because again, people say, I don't really know, blah, blah, blah. And then I'll just share my screen one more time. But like, when I showed something like this, right, and I say something like, hey, Ate, I'm asking you to save $600 a month, right? Do you know why I do that? It's because I save over $4,000 a month right now. And I show this, right? These are the two plans my father started for me, but I took it over. That's about 160. I started this when I became after college. That's about 100. There's one more IUL, about 12,000. This is my emergency fund, about 70, right? So when I kind of show those numbers, it's not theory anymore. Like it's real. Does that make sense? So that's why if there's ever a time that I need that, it's really nice because, again, I'm not giving you something I wouldn't do. And I'm only giving it to you because I'm doing 10 times more than I'm asking you to do. And then once you kind of show that, like, I put my money where my mouth is, they really see it as a, I can trust you kind of thing. That helps a lot too.
True. So for anybody who haven't finished their joint own share, please do so. Because, right, how can you tell people to save if we don't have our own savings, right?
Oh, yeah. I like this question. Do I have to be good looking to be good? No. Answer is no. Do you know how many scary looking people are in the business? And they do very well? So no, you don't have to.
And you should know who asked that.
Who is Big Kahuna? Who is?
That's our big leader, Don.
Oh, really? Oh.
And I can relate to you, Simon, because Rose and Dosita is always giving us doctor referrals who's in around 70s. And I told Don, I need your gray hair to talk to this doctor.
It's just so much easier that way, right? Because same culture or same workplace, it just helps relate a lot easier, right? So I'm glad. Okay. Ferdinand.
Please ask questions to Simon. This is the time to learn from the best.
Yeah. Anything else on sales side? I know Ferdinand asked about how.
Oh, Ate Fe from LA has a question. Go ahead, Ate Fe.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Please unmute, Ate Fe.
You're still muted. Can't hear you yet.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can. Okay.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. I have a prospect.
Sure.
Yeah, he had a couple, and they're both on a 7-year pay with another carrier or with another company. How can I convince them to deal with Transamerica, and what options can I give them?
Yeah, that's fair. So you're saying they 7 paid with that other company?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know how long they've had the account for?
Could be like 3 to 4 years already.
3 to 4 years? Okay. Now, the only caveat I will say with the 1035 exchange is please check the surrender charge. Mm-hmm. So every company has a surrender charge. Now, Usually it can be anywhere from 5 years, 10 years, even 15 years. So depending on how much money client has and what surrender value is, I may not even recommend to roll it over, because if they're losing too much money, it doesn't make sense. But that's why I'm saying get the monthly statement and have one of the trainers look it over for you so they can come up with a good recommendation. Does that make sense? So, because even if you can't do it now, you can still do it maybe in a couple of years or maybe 5 years when the charge is very, very low or even zero. Then you can do it. Does that make sense? And then the way, I don't know what product it is, so I can't really answer that question right now. But yes, there are many different ways that we can see why ours may be better. Maybe their growth is capped. Maybe they have a lower floor. It really, really depends. But like I said, once you know the product, we can look it up very, very easily. So just get the statement. That's what I would get, the statement.
Okay.
Good.
All
Okay.
right. Thank you.
Okay. Good.
Thank you, Tife. And Simon, we have
Yeah.
questions from our chat box.
Where is FFIUL2 available? Everywhere besides California. Basically everywhere that is not California, you can do FFIUL2. Okay. Now, here's what I've been doing for my California clients. I will go and close the deal with the current FFIUL, and then I will say, I will be back in the next 2 or 3 months, and we're going to increase your premium by 25% and increase your face amount by 25%, and we'll do another 1035. Because when you do it that way, again, Transamerica, within Transamerica, you can remove the surrender charge if you increase face amount by 25%. So I'll tell them. How can you start in IUL? Go ask who's your upline.
Who's your trainer?
Yeah. That's the right question to ask me, but who is Samsung? Who's the Samsung phone?
I hope this is not from my team.
But it's okay. All I'm saying is just ask your upline trainer, whoever invited you here today, and they can help you out, no problem. Good, okay. Anything?
Another question from Jess. Is it possible to share your concept, the $200 with 10%?
Oh yeah. I have that picture. I can just send it to Lizelle. Let me just send it to you, and then you could.
I have it already. You shared it to me.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, perfect. Okay, then Lizelle can handle everything. So FFIUL2 uncapped is only applicable to new policies, correct? Yes. It is new sales in that state, yes. They cannot change the terms of an existing policy. Yeah. So any new sales.
I want to answer the question from Samsung. Who can he buy? From me. How can you start an IUL? I can start it for you, Mr. Samsung or Miss Samsung.
Good.
Okay. Thank you very much, Simon. But before we end this session, okay, I just want to share my screen because these last Mondays of the year is very interesting. We're done on learning all the concept from the providers, and now we are trying to learn how to apply them. So the next week, of course, we will gonna hear from our elite team how do you say that? 5-time MVP from our Soul Salute desk to teach us about rollovering their pension plan. And then after that, of course, we will learn from our I'll change the title. I'm so sorry I don't have the time to ask, but Ray Pagaduan will also share one of his clients on rollovering their pension plan to an annuity. And then after that, I invited Daniel because I think this is also very important of how to handle objections and asking for referrals. And then, of course, another case study from our EVC, LTC, and the ladder approach strategy. So that will be the upcoming events and upcoming training every Monday. And I'll post these posters from our elite team WhatsApp. So that's all for the upcoming events. And where are you, Simon? Did he left already? Oh, Anyway, thanks, Simon. And I know you still owe me for one training. I know you are also good on annuity. So probably we'll invite you again for next year.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thank you very much. And last questions, anybody? Today is the highest attendee so far. We have 8
Nice.
attendees.
Nice.
Yes, thank you. You're special, Simon. Everyone, even me, wants to hear you. And I learned a lot from you today.
That's good. I'm glad.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Recording stopped.
Good night. Great